Hey guys, it's Laura here at Art Zone, and today I'm gonna walk you through how to make a clay pinch pot fish. So as you can see here, we've got some different examples of different types of fish. We got that guy, and then this one here is a shark, hammerhead. So the one thing that all these fish have in common is that they all started with some form of a pinch pot. So that'll be the first thing that we talk about. Now in your clay kit that we sent home with you, you actually have a pound of clay. A pound of clay is a lot of clay. It doesn't sound like a lot, but it is. And so you can actually probably get other creations out of this clay. So let's talk about that. So the first thing that you want to do to make your clay fish is you're going to take your ball and you're going to twist and pull it into two parts. And you'll see that those parts are still kind of big. So what you can do if you want to make other things is go ahead and set your smaller piece to the side and take your bigger piece and twist and pull it into two parts. And that'll give you probably more than enough for your fish, but we'll start with that, and then whatever's left you can add to your other ball and make other creations with, okay? So out of your two pieces that you have left, you're gonna figure out which one's bigger and which one's smaller, and you're gonna set the bigger one on the table and we'll use it later. Let's take that smaller one and turn it back into a ball. And you do that just by hitting it in the palms of your hands until you get a decent looking ball. It doesn't have to be perfect. Once you get that ball shape, you're going to take your thumb, you're going to stick it in there, and you're going to twist and push, twist and push, twist and push till you have that fat thumb. Cool. Now you're going to take that, you're going to stick out two fingers, and you're going to take it and you're going to twist it, and you're just going to pinch. You're turning that clay into a pinch pot. So you're just going to continue to pinch it out until you get the shape that you want. Once you get it opened up, you can even get two fingers in there usually and continue to pinch it out until you get the shape that you want. Now you'll notice that in this one, we used the entire bowl for the body of the fish, and then we just added a back fin that I'll show you how to create. So you could do that. This one just used the pinch pot. They made a much smaller pinch pot and they used it for just the mouth. So you could do that. This one took the pinch pot and they made it longer to give it that more lengthy body. So you could do that option. And then this one also just did the pinch pot for the mouth. So those are kind of your options. For the one that we're doing today, I'm gonna go ahead and show you just using the pinch pot as your mouth. And then we'll create the body to go with it, okay? So we've got our pinch pot and we've got it the way we want it. So now we just take it and we just tap it on the table to give it that flat side there. So that way, whenever it's sitting on your shelf at home, it will actually be able to sit flat. And now we've created the mouth, okay? So let's go ahead and take that and set it to the side. Now, take your bigger piece of clay and you're gonna take it, and you also want to take it and twist and pull it into two pieces. Then whichever one is bigger, whichever one you think's bigger, keep it this time and set the smaller one to the side. Take your bigger piece of clay and you kind of roll it back and forth in the palms of your hand, creating a potato shape. Once you get that potato shape, it doesn't have to be smooth and perfect, it's just a potato shape. You should in your kit have gotten a bamboo skewer and a popsicle stick. We're gonna take that popsicle stick, we're gonna take it and we're gonna cut our tail, just like so. And then we're gonna lift part of it up like so. So you have the start of your back fin, like this guy, right? So now you can take it and you can play with it until you get the shape that you're looking for. And maybe you want yours to be taller or wider. Maybe you want to kind of give it a little twist. You can choose all of that, okay? So now let's go back and find your mouth, your head part of your fish, and let's make the two stick together. Now, if you've done classes with us before, you're probably familiar with our term, scratch to attach. It's also known as slip and score, but we find that scratch to attach is a little easier to remember, so that's what we use here. And what you do is you're gonna use that bamboo skewer. It's gonna be challenging for me to say today, but you're gonna find your skewer and you're gonna scratch up the back of your head where you want that fin to touch. And you can see that it's nice and messy. And then you're gonna do the same thing to the bottom of your tail. So the part that is not split apart. And you're gonna scratch it up. And you're also gonna make it nice and messy. So the scratches act like a puzzle, forcing them to lock together. And then if we add just a finger's worth of water, I have a bucket of water over here. If you add just a finger's worth of water and you tap it to both parts of that you scratched, and then you're going to stick it together. The water acts like glue, which is gonna help hold your fish together. I also like to then go ahead and try to smooth out some of that line just to ensure that my fish is gonna stay together. It just kind of reinforces it a little bit, makes it stronger if we do that. So it's caused them to become one piece. Okay, good. So we've got it all smoothed out so it's one piece. You want to make sure that to do the top up here too. And so we've got it all together. Now what I like to do is go ahead and pause for my creating, take my popsicle stick, and go ahead and give my fish some scales. So if you take your popsicle stick and you're gonna use this tip part, and you just, let me make sure I can get this on camera somehow. Let me figure, there we go. And you just press it down into the fish, you'll see that it will start to kind of look like scales. You can see on this one that I've already started that it already looks like scales because I've already pressed it. On this particular fish, I only wanted to do the tail part. I didn't want to do the head, but you're welcome to do the head on yours because it's yours and you can create it how you like, right? All right, so we've got our head, we've got our tail, and now let's continue on with creating the rest of our fish. So we need to add what else to our fish? How about some eyes? Yeah, so let's add some eyes. So you should still have a little lump of clay. We're gonna take that little lump of clay and we're just gonna pull off, just pinch off a little piece of clay. We're gonna turn that into a ball. And then I wanna go ahead and pinch off another one and turn it into a ball. So that way maybe they'll be the same shape, right? The same size. And then again, we will scratch to attach those onto the head. I like to go ahead and use my thumbs to kind of give it a little socket where I want it to go. So that way we kind of know where I want mine to sit. And then I'm going to use that skewer again and we're going to scratch up both parts so we can attach that eye on there. Tap that water, add that water to everything, and then we're going to stick it in there just like so. And again, you can go back and kind of smoothen that line a little bit in the back side of it. I also, in most of my fish that I create, not only do I like to give it this big ball part of the eye, but then I like to give it a little pupil as well. So you can kind of see that. So for that, we just take a little piece of the clay and make just a little circle dot out of the clay. And again, you'll scratch it up and scratch up where you want it. Add that water and put it together. Now, if I go too fast, you're always welcome to pause me so that way you can catch up and then continue on with us whenever you're ready. So then, you know, we got to have another one for the other side. And same deal, we're going to scratch it up. Add a little bit of water and put it together. So our fish now has eyeballs. Cool. All right, so next step, let's talk about fins. For my fish here, you can see that, again, the head is just the pinch pot, and then I've added a tail, the back fin, and then the side fins. Now I cheated with this guy, and I used a shell cookie cutter to make his fins. This guy, I actually just pinched out a little triangle and used it. And I believe that's what Kathy did for this guy too. So you can get creative and do that. In this particular video, I've already went ahead and made my fins with the shell. So that way this video isn't like 3 hours long. And so I'm gonna go ahead and scratch those fins up and attach them to our fish. Again, you can pause me so that you can create your fins how you want them to be. If you can think of a different way other than the ways that I've suggested, you're welcome to use that too. This time I'm gonna kind of angle my fin out. So that way he's not straight. Now, if you wanted to add scales to your fin, you would want to do that before you attach it to your fish. So add the scales before you attach the fish if you want scales on your side fins. Okay, so let's pretend like I've already attached my other one so we can go a little faster here. And then for my top, like this guy has a little mohawk kind of thing going on, I found a palm tree cookie cutter to help give me that shape. Again, I understand that you probably don't have that at home. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. Check that out. He's gonna be kind of cool, huh? So we'd scratch to attach that on there. You can take your extra clay and you can pinch something out similar to that shape. Use your tools to cut it apart. So if I smash this down here, use my skewer to kind of cut a straight line and then come back and cut some zigzags. You can see that you too can create something similar to what I have going on here. Just takes a little playing with the clay to get the right shape that you want. There we go. So then we'd scratch to attach the fin on there, right? And then we can add, maybe you want some teeth in yours. I put teeth in this guy too. And this guy has teeth. I don't think Kathy's had teeth. She chose to do a tongue, which a tongue, you're just gonna do a little piece of clay and stick it in there, right? For the teeth, I just make little tiny triangles and I would scratch to attach and put them in there, like so. Pretend like I'm scratching to attach, okay? Make sure you guys scratch to attach. That's like the most important part. Because if you don't, things just tend to fall off in the kiln. So, I didn't really look to see how I placed my teeth, but look there. So he's got teeth, he's got fins, and we've created a fish. The last step, important part. You're gonna flip your fish over, use that skewer, and you're gonna put your name in the bottom of your fish. So I put Laura on mine. And there you go. You have your fish. You're welcome to decorate yours however you would like. If you don't want teeth and you want a tongue, you're welcome to do that. You get to get creative and decide how you want your fish to look. Last thing that you should know is you are ready to glaze. Once you get to this point, you've got it all decorated. With the glaze, also known as paint, but it's called glaze because there's little pieces of sand in it that whenever it goes through the kiln, it gets so hot that it turns it into glass. So whenever you go to use that glaze, you want to use a lot of glaze. You really want to take your time and put a lot on there. If you can see the gray clay, then you haven't used enough glaze. The only part that you don't want to glaze is this very bottom here where you put your name. You don't want to glaze that because if you glaze that, then you're going to have a fish explode in our kiln, and that's no fun. The clay needs a little spot where the moisture can escape. So keep that in mind, all right? So you don't paint the bottom where your name's at. Otherwise, use a bunch of glaze on your fish. I hope you guys had fun creating your fish, and I am super excited to see how they turned out. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.